evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractible, a Wood Elf production. This week, Bob likes Big School, has affinity for large bow wows, but prefers handheld versions. Wade doesn't move, nor attend parties, but loves a crop of pizza and dislikes a tiny PAX. Mark misses the seasons and is worried about street sharks and the crusty man. Yet wizards take backsies and teeth cause him a huge meltdown. Yes, it's time for Big or Small. Now sit back and prepare to be distracted and enjoy the show.
Hello, and well, man, these are getting increasingly awkward. This is the intro now. Use this, Will. Hello, and welcome to Distractible, another episode of your favorite podcast. And if it's not yet, it's probably only because you haven't listened to it yet. So get ready to laugh and feel and be transported to another time and place, but only metaphorically. My name is Bob. I will be your host for this episode. The general format here is I, the host, bring a topic or a poorly researched story or nothing at all, and I present it to my competitors and co-hosts, Mark and Wade.
Hello.
Oh, hey.
Was that where we were supposed to say hi?
That's the, yep, that was prompted you to, yep.
We've been doing this a long time. I know the cues.
We're a well-oiled machine. We even finish each other's
laundry.
Thank you. I appreciate that, by the way. The starching is unnecessary, but I like a good folded basket of lingerie.
Sentences!
Ah, yes. Oh, the French. I don't...
What?
Huh?
You guys know that meme? I forget even who it was. It's a very famous actor or something. It's like the guy who played the Godfather. I don't know. He just goes, oh, the French.
No,
No?
I thought you were calling out the French for no reason.
Just, you know, what's up, Frenchies?
Portugal!
Hey, Lixian's cool. What? How do you say it like that?
I don't know. You know that meme where the guy yells Portugal?
Is that an actual meme?
Just started it right now.
Just like the French one.
Mine is a real meme.
Mine is now.
Portugal.
I declare it.
Portugal.
All right, before we get into this, I do have to say it's an exciting episode because every point that you earn is going to be brought to us by Intel. You'll get to hear that sound we all know and love, the Intel bong, every time I award points. Today, the stakes are high, okay? Today, there actually will be a winner, and it won't be either of the competitors, but also one of them will technically win. It's complicated.
What?
It's not complicated, but I'm not explaining it well, so it sounds complicated.
I am so lost.
Before we get into that party, how's it hanging? Left, right, middle?
Right now, up straight at the ceiling.
Oh.
Yeah, upside down, kind of.
You know how I go into these episodes, don't you?
You get all worked up.
Uh-huh. That's how when I'm at my funniest.
Not like one of the corkscrews on a roller coaster at the moment.
It's hanging duck for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
A game all the way through. This is how this whole episode's going to be, everybody.
Yep.
Quality entertainment from start to finish.
Hey, I'm having fun.
Well, we are getting older.
That's how time works. Yeah, anything new in your lives? I don't actually think I have anything to contribute. Not that as the host, that I have to.
I've personally been finalizing the edit of some TV show that people have been very, very anticipatory
Firefly?
toward. Yes.
Finally getting around to... I didn't even do that. If I just try and say the name, it just does it by itself. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a wonderful global technology that is watching over us. The universal computer.
It's a new copyright technology. Oh my God, the future where if you start playing something copyrighted that you don't have, the world is just like, nope, can't play that song. Nope.
As it should be.
Yeah, if I try to say it, it also... Oh, wait, wrong... There, got it.
Did you get that set up?
Make that good.
That's impressive.
I'm sorry, was that some sort of copyrighted letter you just spoke out loud?
Oh, yes.
Can't say that one.
I tried to say the letter.
The brand new 27th letter of the alphabet, copyrighted by Google or someone probably.
Uh-huh.
Or no, who's the copyright troll company? Probably copyrighted by them.
I don't know. I'd have to look at it. Are there copyright troll companies?
I mean, that was the thing on YouTube like a couple of years ago, right?
Oh, yeah.
Probably still, but there were companies that were just like, oh, we have that copyright.
I'm having more copyright claims on YouTube right now than I have since like the first big wave of it. Like every day, it's like 3 new videos are being claimed.
Somebody is mad at you.
Stop making copyrighted crap.
Well, when we saw you in person together,
You saw me. I don't like that.
I will have had you go through and fix all my copyright claims for me, guys. Thank you.
When I was staring in your window from a rainy, moonlit night, and thunderstorms were raging behind me, I saw you.
I actually came over the other night, but I didn't want to stop watching you sleep, so I couldn't wake you.
We will have had done that by the time this out.
Yes, the great Bob Wade outing of 2022 to Los Angeles will have occurred, yes.
It's the first time we will have seen each other since the Australia tour, which was 4 years ago.
That's so insane.
No way. Is that true?
All 3 of us together, I think that is true. Because I've seen Mark.
Yeah.
Well, Mark and Amy, Mandy and I hung out with once in the interim.
Yeah, but all 3 of us being together. Yeah.
No, that's horrifying.
Wait, is my birthday post-tour? Because Mark was at my birthday, too. Wade didn't come to my birthday party, but Mark did.
Yeah, well, that's because I'm a real friend. Host Bob.
You missed go-karts.
All right, well, being a shitty friend who didn't leave you two to move out west and still is in Cincinnati, yes, I am
Still on
the
about
worst.
the West thing.
How could you not?
Happiness, money, I don't know.
It's so sad in California.
You guys have great stuff out there. No rain, fire, land value that'll decrease whenever it's under the ocean in a few years. I'm sure it's great.
I'm the next valley in from the ocean. We're going to be ocean front sometime in the next century.
That's thinking positively.
We picked the right spot, man.
Well, I did just get back from a wedding that was in Wisconsin, and it was the first time that I had seen the leaves changing since I moved to LA. I had this not since I moved to LA, but like for 5 years. It was this horrendous realization that like, oh God, this is a part of the world that I used to have every day of my life and just is no more. And that made me sad.
Oh.
But I'm happy.
If only there was some way to correct the mistakes of the past.
Peen house, peen house, peen house.
Oh yeah, I forgot about P House.
Is it pea house or peen house?
I was both simultaneously.
I mean, doesn't matter, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Either and.
Either and.
Anyway, that wasn't really small talk about us, but that was good catching up, guys.
Yeah, good catching up.
Yes.
I'm excited
Yes.
to have had been hanging out. You know what? None of that's important.
What is?
Because now it's time to get to what is important. With a new recurring segment, maybe, probably, called Adjective or Adjective. That's too narrow. This or that.
Wait, isn't that already a thing? This or that?
Yeah, no, that's like maybe that's someone else's already. Thing or thing.
Thing or thing.
Okay.
Maybe put some more music or I don't know. Do your thing, Will. Make that sound less awkward.
Let's get the rights to use the song This or That.
That's probably outside the budget. Gotta be honest.
Oh. Will, make your own song. Sing the
That's
lyrics and do the tune. Excellent.
Probably outside the budget.
Yeah.
Gotta be honest.
Do it for free? Pro
That's
bono.
Probably outside the budget. Gotta be honest.
Okay. No music, no happiness, nothing. Just silence.
That's probably outside the budget.
What is in the budget?
That was one too many. I didn't follow the rules. There is no budget.
You're on
Today,
a rule of 6.
Today, you and also me am deciding an important and generation-defining decision, okay? Which one will it be, boys? Big or small?
Oh,
We guess you, we guess you, we guess to you.
You don't have to decide right now. We're going to talk it through. But during today's discussion, we are going to talk about various things and decide ultimately in the entire universe from here until eternity for the rest of existence whether it is better to be or otherwise exist in a state of big or small. It must apply to everything. You can't have big one thing and small other thing. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff and ultimately decide, and everyone has to follow our decision, whether big or small wins. The other one, gone forever. No such thing. No small or no big ever again. Everything must be the one we choose. See? Big stakes, right? Told you.
I'm so confused, but I'm ready and able and willing and able and willing able.
I'm so torn already.
It'll become clear. We'll start slow. And you guys are welcome to, once we get into it, you're welcome to bring your own evidence. Basically, I'm the judge of the episode and I'm the judge of this game. You each get a vote. You're allowed to agree. I'll just say we're going to start with cars. Big general topic. Vehicles, motor vehicles. And you're allowed to both vote the same way. You're allowed to disagree. If there is a disagreement, I am the deciding vote. And it'll make more sense as we go. And I think this is going to be good. This is going to be good for everyone. No more confusion. If you need a bigger one or a small one or whatever, no choice. We'll decide for you.
Uh-huh.
You ready?
Yes, I think. Maybe. No. Yes?
I have no idea.
All right. We're just going to ease into it. Like I said, cars, motor vehicles, electric or otherwise. Which one, boys? Big or small?
Oh.
Is this all vehicles or specifically cars?
No context from me, just motorized vehicles that humans use for transportation.
Big.
Small.
Big.
Small.
Big.
Oh, that was a lot faster than I thought we'd arrive at a vote, but back it up, because now I'm going to have to decide, I guess.
Oh.
Why?
I didn't know there was explanations that would be a part of this.
Oh, I'm prepared. I've got my notes in front of me.
I don't want you to be prepared. I want you to speak from your soul.
Well, I am. I was making all that up to try to sound important.
Okay, good. I thought you were cheating.
No, but the reason I thought big was because of like mass transportation, like public transportation systems rather than individualized cars and being able to move lots of things at once rather than having to move a lot of different times. So there you go.
What about all those people that live in the cities? What are they going to do with their big auto?
Walk, lazy little shits.
Ooh.
I say small because and there was no qualifications for this questions. I don't consider a train to be a motorized vehicle necessarily.
I would acknowledge that.
So big cars.
Okay, I'll say road going. We're saying road going.
All right, all road going. So yeah, small. It's big's a plague in terms of road goers. You don't want big road goers all over your neighborhoods. There could be big road goers hiding behind bushes, lurking around corners, ready to jump out at you at any moment, spring up out of the ground from beneath the road. They swim in it like a shark. Like, you know, street sharks? You know, street sharks?
Oh, yeah. Terrifying.
Yeah. You remember that show?
Well, they haven't come to the Bay yet. You guys have street sharks in LA?
The show. Street Sharks.
The reality show about the sharks that live in the asphalt in the street?
The TV show.
Yeah, reality TV show.
Street Sharks. No, I hope yes, it is about reality.
Well, you know what you can do with big? You can run over the sharks.
The sharks aren't my concern.
Really got bogged down in the sharks. Sorry.
Yeah. Too much shark talk. More about big is a symbolism for bigness and how that's bad. Yep.
I counter with no.
Weak argument. I like it.
Thank you.
I guess I get to decide this one. I have to say, I lean towards small. I like small because everyone doesn't need cars. You can have trains.
That's why you'd have a big bus.
You could have bicycle lanes. You could have other forms of sort of mass transit. Also, you could potentially cheat and tow big trailers with small vehicles in a world where small things were designed to be powerful and good at that.
Also, now we're just making up stuff. A small little car can pull a huge trailer. No, that's what semis are for. Big.
Just because it is big doesn't mean it needs to be big.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying everything has to be like a smart car or, a one-seater vehicle. Like a Ford Focus is small enough. That was pretty small. I gotta go small. Sorry, Wade.
Hell yeah.
That's points. That's worth points.
Internet, you know who's right. Or viewers, listeners, watchers, subs, whatever you're called. Gentle audience, dear members.
Keep going. You're almost there.
MySpace friends.
Yeah? Tom voted?
Tom voted big. And you should too.
I didn't know that. All right. Well, do we all understand what we're doing now? It feels like we do.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this too obscure?
Yeah, I'm getting screwed by make-believe rules again.
It's one thing. Calm down.
I get it. There's never multiple layers to times you host. It's all on the surface.
Yeah.
It's all out in the open.
Okay, well, I'm glad we're together. You know what? I just want to let you guys know, I'm so prepared today. I brought a physical notebook with a pen that I checked and is working.
Ooh, being prepared. That's 2 points for you, Bob. 2 points for you.
Ha! Yay. I'm not going to tell you how you win, but we have to first decide big or small. That's
okay.
Very important to the whole premise. The next thing I would like to talk about is cell phones. Big or small? Because there's been kind of a cyclical thing, right? When they were first invented, huge, like a briefcase mobile phone situation type deal. And they were constantly like, gotta be smaller. And to the like late 90s, 2000s, everything was like smaller. And then at some point, they were like, wait a minute, bigger cell phones. How big can we go? Folding in half screens and all this stuff. But which is really better? Big phone or small phone?
Who's first?
Sounds like Wade's first.
Small.
Really? You don't want a huge
Yes.
screen to watch YouTube on?
The screen is nice, but we're gonna have the projected virtual reality images, just holograms all around us eventually. I don't need a big brick in my pocket. I want something light that I barely feel, so I can wear my comfortable gym shorts around and not have them falling off on one side or making me walk weird because I got 30 pounds in my right pocket.
Sounds like he wants big, but he's in big denial. He wants those big holograms and screens. My phone is huge and presents an even huger hologram. The biggest around. It could light up the sky with how huge it is.
A big phone for a little man. Compensating, are we?
Have fun pressing those buttons with your ham-fisted fingers.
Don't need to, and I can just look at the hologram and it knows what I'm thinking.
Yeah, the big hologram, or is that tiny too? I bet it's too small to even see. You gotta squint.
The hologram weighs nothing. It can be as big or small as it wants to be.
And yet mine's still bigger. Huh, weird.
I didn't realize this was going to be so heated. I have to be honest. I
How
thought,
dare you?
whoa, hey. Take it down a notch.
Yeah, calm down.
That's fighting words.
How dare you?
There you go. Perfectly boring sounding. But you disagree again, which means I have to decide again. I was sort of thinking we'd agree on some of these.
I kind of do this flip-flop. I just, with the new phone that came out, the new iPhone, I got the bigger version, right?
You always had the small one, didn't you?
No, I've alternated. Almost every 2 years, I alternate because I go like, well, maybe I want the big one. And then I go like, oh, no, but look at the small one. That'd be more convenient. And then I'm like, but so lately I'm in a big swing. This is a big phone year.
I hate dealing with big bricks. I've always gone with the smaller version, or at least the like medium one. I never go with the biggest one.
Well, you also put a really thick case on yours. I have to. Don't you have like one of those big OtterBox or whatever,
Yeah,
like super throw it off a building phone case type deals?
Yes.
What do you do to your phone? I'm always curious what people, because you don't like,
Nothing. It's protected.
well, but you don't like drop it a lot or anything. I get if you're
But I have a cat and I leave it sitting around and my cat likes to knock things off. So
modern phones would survive with no case from the counter to a hard floor most of the time.
not in this house, Bob. Nothing survives in this house.
Okay, you have more gravity in your house or something?
He's got spikes along the floor. You know, it's too much mud dripping everywhere. The water damage that could occur from any surface is incredible.
That's true. The threat of imminent water damage is probably a big concern.
Things come down in this house that aren't meant to go down.
Someday your whole home is just going to be sucked into the crust of the earth. What do we call you then? Magma men?
We'll take a silence as a yes. Oh, yes.
The crusty man.
Well,
The crusty man can, as he fixes it with mud and makes your water taste good.
ew. Oh, God, I hate that.
The crusty man.
Are you having a nice morning? You know who can ruin that? The crusty man. What, do you want to blink your eye? Crust!
All these happy kids walk in and they leave all sad and dejected.
Ugh, I hate that. I wish the crusty man was just a guy who made really good pie crust. And that was
That would be pretty cool, you know.
You're just like, hey, crusty man, I need 2 pie crusts for Thanksgiving. He's like, here you go.
Probably make a pie crust, but it's also including all the other crusts you don't want.
Yeah, it's full of mud, too.
All varieties of crust fall within the crusty man's domain. Just as Aquaman can speak to all sea creatures,
What about the crust?
Krusty Man is the master of crusts. Yeah. I don't like it.
You don't like
Can
it.
always need more crust. Needs more crust.
Needs more crust.
I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no crust on it.
Yeah, my pizza shop only does 99% crust and then just a little drop of sauce in the middle.
We make a deep dish. It's 4 inches thick. Just crust topped with 1 spoon of sauce.
No cheese, no meats, no veggies, middle dot sauce.
Yeah, it's more like a bowl with some sauce in the bottom of it.
It's the last drip of soup.
Yeah, you get it.
If you leave it out on your counter for a week, it becomes a cutting board you can use for generations to come.
Bread bowls are a thing. Are there like pizza bowls where it's a crust with just like sauce and stuff in the middle? Just sauce, cheese, and veggies and meat?
You mean like a pizza?
Well, yeah, but the bowl, you don't eat the crust. You like scoop out of it.
Oh, you don't eat the crust? You just eat the toppings out of it?
You like eat the crust at the end, like after you've emptied the contents in the middle because they're real liquidy?
Yeah, this guy is crust-only pizza, but he still doesn't eat the crust.
Yep.
Eat the crust.
You gotta save it for the next pizza.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Reusable crust bowls.
What is this I'm remembering? Is this an SNL skit? You guys seen Cup of Pizza? Oh, it's The Jerk, the Steve Martin movie.
Cup of pizza.
But the old pizza in a cup guy right out of business. Yeah, it's just a big cup with like sauce, cheese, and pepperoni in it. Pizza in a cup.
But imagine that the cup is crust.
Cup is crust. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bad cup.
It's a bad cup.
We could call it a crup.
Nobody. No one ever, as far as I know.
Better than a cust.
Yeah, he's right.
You got us there.
You gotta give him some points for that one. That's a
Thank
good point.
You're right. You're right. Good points get good points. That's what I always say.
Thank you. And you both get a point for laughing at my joke.
Man, I'm winning in Wade's game.
Damn it.
He's giving me so many points today.
I'm losing in both of these games. Yay! God.
I love it. Anyway, good arguments all around. And obviously, I must conclude that Wade is right on that one. Cell phone.
Phones. I thought we were talking about pizza. I forgot about the phones. Yeah, the phone. I'll take my point.
Wade is right. It's small. I share your delusional dream, though, Wade, that the small phones will develop into the holographic phones.
Yeah, just like a projector or something at least,
Or they'll like implant something in my brain and I'll just hallucinate my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for that. That's the future.
That might be.
Yes.
I mean, it's coming eventually. Like, this technology always sneaks up on you, just like with all the AI image stuff. It's like every week there's a new development in it. As soon as it hits a critical mass, it like starts accelerating. And then one day it'll be like, oh, we put a chip in someone's brain. And it makes them a little smarter. And then in a year, it'll be like, you are an idiot and incompatible with humanity in the future if you don't have a chip in your brain. Because you literally can't do anything.
What if it could work twofold? What if it like sucked up dust particles and then shot them in the air and then projected into the dust particles and sucked them back up? So it can clean your house, project holograms, and then re-clean itself up.
That makes complete sense.
You're like, wow, look at that.
The Dusto Suckogram phone.
Look at my phone, guys.
Just don't breathe it in.
Hey, then cell phones would really be in the cloud. Is that what that means?
2 points for Bob.
Imagine you're going into a hospital. It's like, you're recovering. Let me take a picture with my hologram phone. No! Then everyone's dead.
The room fills with dust and everyone is okay. So cell phones, small. I'm glad we agree.
Yeah.
All right, this next one, I already know we're divided on because of how reality is, but I want to discuss it.
Okay.
Dogs.
Big.
And or pets in general, but we all have dogs, so I feel like that's a good context for us.
Big.
I feel like dogs are like boobs. You can accept them at all sizes. But if I have to pick, man, I like my small dogs. I'll go small dogs. You guys know the reason I like small dogs over big dogs?
Why?
There's really only one reason, because I grew up with dachshunds and they're small. And the one time I had a big dog, it had separation anxiety and it did like $20,000 worth of damage between our house and my car.
Oh my God.
So then I went back
your
to
car?
Yeah, we had a German Shepherd that learned how to open car doors, but it didn't know how to open them from the inside. So it locked itself in my car, like out in the sun and the heat in the summer. And then it tried to chew its way out of my car.
Damn.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Did he make it?
Yeah. Well, I was looking for him and I was like, Mom, where's the dog? And she's like, oh, he should be blah, 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 blah. So I went to look for him and couldn't find him. And then finally, I opened up the door to the outside and my car was just all steamed up from him panting and breathing in there. And I opened the door and he flew into the house to the water bowl.
Oh, man.
And then just pieces of leather were falling out of the car.
Poor pup.
Yeah, he ended up being okay. I felt really bad for him, but also I think it was $4,300 worth of damage he did to my car. It was a bad day.
I would like to claim insensitivity points. Just went through a thing with Chica having heat stroke, and this is very, very traumatizing for me to hear.
I'm sorry, only your dog's allowed to have problems. My bad.
Those dogs are from so long ago.
How rude of you to have had that happen to you, Wade.
Yeah, my bad. My dog had back surgery this year, but who's keeping tally?
Well, that's a current dog. Your other dogs are dead, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Is Chica not a current dog? What happened?
No. Chica's alive. Chica's alive and has all of legs and also the rest of whatever dogs have.
She's fine.
She's fine. She's fine.
Definitely.
Great. I don't know who won or lost that part.
Well, it's not over yet. I'm just curious.
Oh, good.
So that's literally like the main and only reason you like small dogs over big dogs, though? Like, do you like hanging out with big dogs and stuff?
Yeah, I really don't mind big dogs at all. I like all dogs.
What if you got a big dog that was not so particularly challenging? Because not all dogs have that.
I mean, that's fine. One of my favorite dog breeds is a husky, but I don't think they do super well in Cincinnati because of their thick coats.
Oh, they're so loud. Oh my God.
But they're so beautiful. I had one when I was really young, but they're such a beautiful dog. But those are big dogs.
You could
Yeah.
sit there with your earplugs covered over by your sound canceling headphones while your husky screams at all hours of the night.
Yeah, no, I feel bad having a husky in any kind of warm environment. I just
Exactly.
I just can't do that to them.
That's true.
But at the same time, they are very beautiful and very loud. Yes.
Having been on pet TikTok, the main thing I know about huskies is that they scream, and that's it.
Yep.
But other than that, you have Chica, and Chica is a very sweet dog and adorable.
That's alive.
Yes.
That is alive.
And has legs.
Uh-huh.
Many legs. More than one, for sure.
All of the number she's supposed to have, yes.
Yes.
Do you have any strong reasons, Mark? Did a small dog do a small amount of damage to your car as a child?
No, it's not necessarily that. I got nothing against small dogs. It's that, and I don't mean to generalize, but they're just kind of a little bit on the dumb side sometimes. And like when it comes to dogs, it's really like I have a dog because of companionship and kind of also dependability. Not saying small dogs aren't dependable, but they are very helpless. And it feels like it's a one-sided exchange where I'm just like preventing death from approaching a tiny dog from all angles. I've never really had a small dog, but that's what it feels like. Cats are small, but they can fend for themselves and like they are very self-sufficient. But when it comes down to like a dog, what I always imagine is just like a larger dog, whether it's a golden or any other breed. And it just like that level of intelligence, like is just like having that connection and like the understanding. It's that marveling of like the dog constantly understanding certain things. And also in Chica's case, the intelligence really doesn't shine through very hard.
I was gonna say, I think both of my dogs are about 4 times as intelligent as poor Chica.
Well,
Yeah, well,
Chica
hold
puts
on.
off a much dumber energy, stupider energy than I think is fair to Chica. I
Yeah.
know she's not like helpless idiot.
She saw a light reflecting off my watch and tried to eat a brick wall.
Well,
She has her quirks.
She literally ate a wall in your old house.
Oh, you've never
everybody
eaten a wall.
makes mistakes.
Yeah, come on. I've eaten a wall. She learned it from me. It's fine.
Oh, so dogs do reflect their owners.
They
I
do.
see.
They
What
do.
about you, Dad?
It's like Ethan described me one time, which is I'm the smartest dumb man he's ever met. And I'm like, I think that's Chica. She's the smartest. Well, I'm not saying she's dumb.
So do you think short people are dumber than tall people? Be
Be
careful with this one. It's a trap.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. The bigger you are, the smarter. Clearly, brain size comparisons, yada yada.
All right, points for me and Bob.
No, it's just like it's just what I grew up with, and also small dogs are annoying.
So Mark hates small dogs. I like all dogs. Yeah, good point.
Wow, that cuts. That's a political commercial right there is what that is. My opponent hates small dogs, whereas my platform includes love for all dogs of all sizes and levels of stupidity.
Markiplier hates meager mutts. Vote Wade today.
Wow, what are you calling them? Man, it's so rude. I'm gonna take the soundbite of you just like hate meager mutts. This is what my opponent has said about your dog.
Well, now I can take it from you saying it too.
Oh yeah?
What are we all saying? Meager mutts?
I heard it. I heard Wade. You said me saying. It'll be me saying meager mutts. Can't believe
Now I can get you saying me saying me.
you and me do me you.
And what did my opponent say at his last rally? Me saying meager mutts. See, he hates you, meager mutts. Me said it. Me is him in this context.
He said me, which means him, not me.
May ask me something.
But if you're tired of all these political ads, why don't you come down to Wadios and get you a nice crup of pizza?
It's a callback.
It was.
That just tied the whole thing together. If that was what we were deciding today, I think you just won the whole thing, Wade.
All right.
It's not, though, so you didn't.
Okay.
Well, I still have a chance.
Yeah, I do feel biased because I have a very strong kinship with big dogs because I'm a big dog myself, if you know what I mean. And I always have like a connection to big dogs.
Or Lexi.
But I love small dogs way, way more. But I feel it's hard for me because I feel like you guys are making me decide this. And I have to caveat my answer by saying Mark is 100% correct. Some small dogs are so fucking annoying that I
agree.
They're intolerable. They're yappy and it's not even whole breeds, right? There are just some breeds that have potential and or tendency to be really yappy and annoying and aggressive, but like most small dogs in general, that you can pick them up and scoop them like a little baby and sit on your lap and they won't accidentally make it so you can't have babies anymore in the future. I gotta go with small dogs.
Ah, damn it. Chica does like to punch me right in the nuts all the time.
She loves to, whenever I'm around Chica, she loves to snoot me right in the nuts. Mm-hmm. She loves to walk up and just be like, hey, bonk.
Oh, yeah, she does do that.
Yeah.
She just walks right up and the ball. Yeah.
It's completely sweet and adorable, but also I'm always like, ha! Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine.
If I'm going to be fair, though, my dogs, we have a little ramp for them to get up and off the sofa so they don't have to jump because of Ginger's back surgery. So they'll run up on the ramp and then to get across to the part of the couch they want to be on, they sprint hop, bunny hop across, and they land right on your dick every time they try to get to their spot.
Hell yeah.
So they don't boop. All of their body weight's just plus the amazing extra gravity of this house makes it feel like a 40-pound weight is just falling right on your dick.
Don't love
a
that.
15-pound dog.
Don't love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do love small dogs. Congratulations, Wade.
Thank you.
You did it.
I do have some small dogs.
All right. Well, a lot of disagreement still. I'm a little surprised, but it's been interesting.
We'll agree eventually.
Probably.
Right, Mark?
I didn't know if we were supposed to agree, so.
You're allowed to agree, but you don't have to. You're giving me all the power, basically, here.
I was trying to set you up to say no, we won't.
Fine with me. Yeah, that's fine.
You kind of do have the power. You're the judge.
I was just, it's a discussion. We're just deciding this for the entire world.
If anyone were to break in to Distractible HQ and claim the throne of judge, they would have all the power in the world. We wouldn't be able to stop them. They would rewrite the rules.
They wouldn't be able to get in if Distractible HQ just had more mud.
Well, that's why we keep the crown of Distractible in that
Drawer. The drawer?
Apple Watch screen is made of? No, it's in a case made out of that
shallow grave in the basement.
Sapphire crystal display glass.
Oh.
It's got a hardness of 9 on the hardness scale.
Richter scale.
Yeah, the hard scale.
A hard scale.
Richter is not the right word.
No, that's the one for earthquakes, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know much about those. We don't have them here in the good part of the country to live in.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
They're rare.
I've never felt an earthquake in my life.
I definitely have experienced an earthquake in Cincinnati at some point when I was in college.
Yeah.
It was like nothing, but it was technically an earthquake.
Yeah. It's almost like the earth moves everywhere.
Oh.
Are you disagreeing?
He doesn't believe you yet. Finish making your point
see.
about the facts of the universe, Mark.
All right, I'm done.
Oh, that's right. It's just a fact that school children know.
There
Anyway,
was a clip, sorry to sidetrack, there was a clip of Tim the Tap Man discovering that tectonic plates were a thing, and that if you dig down in an island, it wouldn't just be water underneath.
oh no.
I don't know how real it is, but it's very funny.
Oh god.
I like
I don't watch Tim, but I kind of know his personality, and I believe that completely.
No discredit to him, but man, it was really funny.
No, I mean, that's just hilarious. Everyone has some kind of knowledge gap. I'm sure that I have exactly the same type of thing somewhere in my brain of my accumulation of knowledge.
Yep, I also believe it.
Wait, was it live on stream, though? I'm assuming, because it's a clip of it.
Yeah, there's a whole video.
So I'm sure it was the discussion that came up, and someone was like, yeah, tectonic plates, and Tim was like, That's not a thing.
I think it was started from like talking about Florida, and if you dig down in Florida, he's like, wouldn't it just be water at a certain point?
Oh no. Oh no.
I think I get where the misunderstanding comes from, like the idea of a water table and that kind of idea. But at the same time, it is very much like, oh no.
I kind of want to go look that clip up now, but now's not the time.
Now's not the time.
This is important.
Yes.
Focus.
I'm not big enough of a streamer to go after Tim, so I'll just say I understand.
Go after him? Are you gonna go after him for that?
I can't believe you guys are going after him like this is starting this Twitter drama.
Let's keep dragging him, guys. He's almost down.
Roast him harder.
Oh, I can't do it. My clout is not enough. It's a battle I'll lose.
Oh, my clout. My clout is weak.
Even if I have correctness on my side, it can't overpower the stupidity of social media.
Wait, how dumb are you calling Tim here? What are you saying?
I don't know.
I call social media dumb, not Tim.
I think he was just complimenting Tim's clout.
Is he social media?
He might be. Of course he is.
It's no longer Tom. It's now Tim.
It's Tim.
What happened to Tom?
He was Tom the No Tap Man. Now he's Tim the Tat Man.
Oh, God.
You've changed, Tom.
I think he prefers Tim now.
Oh. Well, if I say Tom, he won't know who I'm talking about then. He's forgotten his roots.
You're addressing someone else.
Oh, man.
Okay. What a barn burner.
How many notes do you have to get through, and how many have we gotten through?
35, and we've decided 3.
This is like my tier list episodes.
These are not all. We're not supposed to get through everything I have listed. I've made a big list, and you're welcome if you have an interest in which way we go, big or small. Small is pretty dominating right now. You can bring your own thing for debate. I welcome it, but I have another one.
Is small pretty dominant in a 2-1 victory right now?
It's 3-0, isn't it?
No, you went big the first one.
Oh no, we did big phones.
Yeah, big phones.
No,
did
you
we?
did small phones.
Did we do small phones?
You did big for the first one. Whatever the first. No, small car. It is small, isn't it? 3-0.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
It's all smalls.
It's all
Small
small.
phones, small dog.
Each of you did not vote all 3, but I decided them all to small.
I'm just so used to winning that I forgot Mark won once.
How large a sample size do you need for statistical significance?
3.
Oh, well, there's probably other issues that invalidate
it must be
statistical
3. That's what I
significance.
heard.
Oh, okay.
Wait, statistics? I thought those were a myth.
I don't like tectonic plates. Those aren't real.
Gotcha, Tom.
We need to do at least 1 to 5 more.
Why?
Because I want to hear your opinions.
You guys should check out Distractible.
That was very effective promotion. I have a feeling they did.
Thank you. Well, they will now if they weren't.
But this one's about a thing we like, guys.
Okay. I mean, I like phones and dogs. Wait.
Yeah, well, this is about a thing that's really important to us.
Do not say boobs because I refuse to choose.
That's on here, but I don't want to get into that. That's complicated. I want to talk about video game developers. Big or small?
I don't really care how tall or short they are.
Yeah, are we talking about the physical size of the individual, or
Like, metaphorically. AAA or indie? Big or small?
not to keep the small train going, but I go small just because I like the creativity, and I'm always about like individuals having complete creative control and a singular vision, which is extremely rare in a larger studio, to have like that cohesive idea permeate through it. It's like, it's very much, I'm a big champion of like the individual creator in that aspect. So I got to go small.
I hate to be that guy here, but I agree.
Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, that was not that disagreeable of a thing.
I mean, having a bigger budget and stuff is great, but so many games seem to like just the bigger the company gets, the more they kind of lose their way with what they started with and how it becomes less great. I don't know.
You like small indie games? Name one.
Your mom.
Aha!
Got him!
Got him.
Still pulled one out from under you.
I guess I would probably end up on small as well, but I was thinking one of you guys might like big. I view like the big studios, like the big AAA stuff, as like an action movie. like my favorite movies are, I mean, all movies that get into theaters are relatively big compared to real indie movies. But my favorite movies are
Except
ones...
for The Legend of El Diablo.
What?
Oh, well, what is that? Is that your indie film? You putting out a movie?
Like a college-made film or something. I've got the DVD here. It's a terrible movie that I love, and I watch it sometimes. Worst thing I've ever seen in my life, and I'm so proud to own it.
I remember that story. What was it supposed to be?
Well, I thought it was based on the video game Diablo. Like, I thought it was going to be, like, based on
Right.
that series. Like, oh, that'll be cool.
Oh, right. God, that's a classic Distractible story.
Yeah, The Legend of Diablo is not, in fact.
From the episode So Bad It's Good.
Classic.
It is based on the quote-unquote popular comic book, it says. I don't know what comic book.
Popular with whom?
With whom?
The guy who wrote it?
I think I'm probably the only person outside of whoever was in this or made it that owns a copy, and I'm proud of that fact.
It's impressive.
That is impressive.
If anyone else out there owns it, let me know in the subreddit.
Why are we talking about movies? Oh, anyway, I was going to say, I prefer the movie that's more nuanced and indie-er as compared to like $150 million Michael Bay Explosion Fest. But I also like the Michael Bay Explosion Fest, and that's how I feel. I play EA Sports games. I know they're kind of the same thing recycled year after year. I like them. And like I liked Call of Duty for a long time. I usually play the campaign whenever the new COD comes out. I probably will again this year. It feels like trashy, but it's like trashy that I enjoy as a comfort.
Mm-hmm. I have respect for a bad movie occasionally, or like a popcorn flick. Yeah.
Yeah. But ultimately, I would have to agree with you guys. Small game studios have made some very fascinating games that have been much more interesting than... Okay, bad choice. That's on me. You know what? That's a hosting mistake. All right. This one, you have to probably will disagree on. Maybe not. I'm not good at thinking that through. Festivals and or conventions. This includes anything like a Ren Fair, like a PAX or whatever, TwitchCon, all these sorts of things, or like, you know, local like tabletop gaming or like a Magic the Gathering sort of tournament festival thing. All ranges of things. Anything that's like a festival, convention, get together, meet up, whatever. Big or small?
Is it me first this time?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, prior to COVID, I liked both a lot. But I found as I've gotten older, and even like just through knowing myself, I like smaller get-togethers. Like I feel like you have more time to talk to each person whenever it's like a smaller get-together versus like a huge group thing. I feel like I'd prefer a smaller festival or a smaller group gathering because it's like more time to enjoy each thing. Whereas the big ones with like the crowds, the lines, and so on and so forth, it just becomes exhausting and overwhelming more so than, I don't know, time to really enjoy anything a whole lot. So I'm gonna go small.
I mean, here's the thing. I would love to say small from like, but we're talking like conventions here.
Yeah. Not like friend group get-togethers, more like organized thing.
Yeah, because small conventions are usually very, don't have as many booths. They don't have as many people there. They don't draw as many people in. They don't draw as many friends in. And I don't really go to conventions at all anymore, especially after COVID. But I got to say, like, there's something to be said about a big convention. My first experiences with conventions were San Diego Comic-Con, which is one of the biggest conventions in the world. And there's some kind of like wondrous feeling to having that. See if people all there for a specific reason. So honestly, like as much as I get like the idea of like, yeah, less people, but for the purpose of a convention, I don't think a convention can be too small, or it can be too small in a certain aspect, but I feel like a bigger convention leads to more interesting experience.
Well, for conventions specifically, I would agree. But we talked about festivals and other things too. So I was thinking like little music festivals and like
even festivals,
tabletop things.
I think that there's definitely a power in crowds, because the idea of going to a place with other people, there's a word for it. I always forget it. There's a word for the experience of a shared human connection as a crowd experiences something they all like. There's a word for it, and there's a literal physiological effect when a large group of people experience something that moves everyone at the same time. It's why people like concerts. It's why people like big things, even if they are a pain in the ass. So even like I want to go to the world's biggest Ren Fair. I want to go to the world's biggest comic book convention. I want to go to the world's biggest like YouTube convention. I want to go to those. The others just don't really draw you in as much.
I get your point and I agree with it. And I proposed at a convention. So yeah, I've got a pretty good connection to those. And having like the whole crowd there for that was pretty awesome, albeit terrifying in the moment. But I don't know. There was like a How small is that to be to count as small? Because there was like a like little fish eating festival here in Cincinnati that still had like probably hundreds of people, but comparatively to like a PAX, to me, is pretty small. But I mean, there's like, 20, 30 booths of different places where you can go and try like fish and shrimp and things like that. And I was there with like family and friends and Molly, and we just kind of walked around, tried some food. It was really intimate, but really just enjoyable and not overwhelmingly crowded, that I enjoyed too. So I don't know. I guess it's hard to differentiate those two things because you're wanting different things from them. So if you're grouping all of it together, I guess I don't know which way I'd lean. Conventions, specifically, you're talking about like a PAX. Like PAX South was probably the least fun PAX because it was the smallest one and they didn't have that many different games and things. Like after an hour on the floor, you've seen everything. So yeah, bigger was better for that. But some of the festivals where you just don't want to have to wait in lines for hours and hours to do something, I definitely like the smaller feel. So I guess it's hard to differentiate those two in my brain.
Too bad you've already made your choice. Right, Judge?
I mean, he said it.
He did say it. He declared it.
I guess you're locked into that, Wade.
Oh, okay.
Mark made the new rule. No changes. No take backsies. Actually, that's a pretty well-established rule.
I want to make a new rule. Mark can't make rules.
From here on out, I guess, but it's too late for the rule that Mark already made.
Damn it. Can I make another rule?
No, because that rule would effectively be a takes backsies of the rule that was made.
Yeah,
and therefore,
no take backsies. That's already well-established now.
Yeah.
That's lore.
That's lore.
It wasn't really take backseat. It was more like an addendum.
An addendum where you take back what you said and change
No,
it.
I stand by liking small festivals, but big conventions.
No addem doozies.
No, I am dum-dums. No doon-doos.
We grouped a lot of things together that are kind of different.
Yeah, well, it's a tough choice. We're deciding something for the entire universe at large. It's not easy, okay? But you have to take a stand.
And I took a stand on multiple fronts. Mark only talked about conventions.
You took 2 stands. I mean, he talked about everything, though. I would say I have to generally agree with Mark. Play the bong, Will. I totally appreciate what you're talking about, Wade, because I've been...
I doth protest.
I've been to, like, the county fair, or, like, what's really fun in Ohio is in the fall, these farms will put up, like, well, that's more of an attraction than an event. But we had events. My school had an event where it was, like, there's a corn maze, there's a pumpkin patch, there's, like, the stuff. It's fun when there's, like, maybe 100 to a few hundred people together, and it's very casual, especially if you know a lot of people. And I appreciate that. But if I'm going to a concert, a Ren Fair, a convention for video games, or otherwise, like Comic-Con or whatever, I'm going to hang out with friends, which a bigger one is likely to attract more of my friends to all want to go. But also I'm going for like spectacle. I went to E3 because I wanted to go into the Xbox theater and see the game announcements and see Keanu Reeves come out on stage. And I want to see the costume contest where there's like 100 people all lined up in this costume, and they're like the highest caliber of costumes you've ever seen, and it's fantastic. And the stuff that you can't experience, because I feel like you can experience community in a lot of ways other than festivals and fairs or whatever, like small town type stuff or small get-togethers. But the spectacle of a huge crowd all getting excited about the same thing or freaking out about the same crazy thing you just saw all together, whatever Mark, that word he was trying to define that I also don't know.
Yeah,
that is the thing about big concerts. I've done big concert festivals before, and it's exhausting, and there's so many people, and it's kind of gross. But also watching your favorite band play with like a few thousand or 10,000 other people there, and everyone's singing and jumping and whatever, that's a singular experience. I have to go with big on this one. It's hard to capture that in any other setting.
Well, I'm glad it sounds like we all three disagree, but I technically disagree.
How do I disagree with Mark? I disagree with you.
Well, I agreed with all those points, but
you staked your claim on the wrong side.
That's true, and then a rule was made afterward. That's fair. I guess.
No unstaking. You stuck. Your claim was already stank.
No unstakesies.
Which is just an extension, not a modification of the established rule, no take backsies.
Yes.
It's really more of a term of art as opposed to a change in definition.
And I think no takes backsies is from which all human laws are derived.
Pretty much. Or laws relating to no take backsies, such as actions you cannot take backsies, like murder.
Like murder. No takes backsies on the murder.
No, I would allow take backsies.
I mean, if we could figure that out, that'd probably be pretty cool. But I don't think you can take backsies on murder. I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Well, if we find a way, you guys staked your claim that you wouldn't support it, and I do.
He got us there.
He's got us there. We can't take backsies what we said.
When you're right, you're right.
So, moral point for me. I'll take it.
Moral victory for Wade. Meaningless victory.
As morality tends to be in this world. All
right. Well, I don't know how I feel about this one, but I want to talk about it because I'm curious what you're going to say.
Uh-oh.
The next one is teeth.
Big. I was expecting some others.
Or small.
Oh, man.
It has to be substantially bigger than the biggest size of tooth that's within like the widely, the median range of what humanity has, and also smaller teeth, substantially smaller teeth than, where like the normal median, normal is a rude word to say, but like where the average falls as far as tooth size in humanity. Because there's a wide range. You get people with comparatively much larger or smaller teeth than each other, which is part of genetics and stuff. But I'm talking like giant chompers. Or nibblers.
Okay.
Which is better.
We're human only, right?
Humans only.
Humansonly.com.
God.
Man, this because are there tiny teeth? Are there more of them to compensate? Because
you need a whole mouthful. Yeah, no, you have the same tooth area,
or there'd just be more gaps in between.
I mean, there could be gappy.
Oh no, are there layers?
No, it's arranged in what would be a stereotypical human arrangement.
I'm assuming you'd have the same amount of teeth. They'd just be smaller, so there'd be like gaps in between.
What if they're all just bunched up in the front or off to one side?
Just empty in the back.
Well, yeah, because this dictates how I think.
It varies person to person, Mark.
Why would it do that? Evolutionarily, that doesn't make any sense.
Why do people's teeth differ person to person?
They don't really.
Evolution has no meaning. Humanity has developed medicines and food supplements.
No, I have to believe that this was a change in the course of evolution in history where big teeth are just humans have big teeth or humans have lots and lots of small teeth. It has to be one or the other. I can't just be like, oh, magically they're bigger or smaller. Because if they're bigger, then all of a sudden I wouldn't be able to open my mouth anymore and get anything in. I would die.
A wizard cast a spell and all teeth get big or small.
No, this is wizards here. This is science.
I established this rule. No take backsies.
No. You're taking backsies what was originally human. You're taking backsies what was human and what was earned.
You don't like it when someone establishes a rule, do you?
Generations of evolution. You are abusing the power of take backsies.
I sure am.
Is he allowed to abuse the power of take backsies?
Absolutely. There was no rule about abusing take backsies. There was simply a rule that there are no take backsies.
All right. Okay. Well, then by the law of take backsies, I declare that this entire question is invalid because it take backsies from the root of what makes the tooth. And there is, unlike any other question that has been substantiated at this point, been a situation where one or the other exists, and yet no evidence has been presented to which this occurs without takes backseeing the very fundamental basis of what a tooth is. And it disregards all the functional backsies that have been established for the entire history of toothdom as far back as life exists. This entire premise is invalid.
All right, so Mark refused to answer. I'll say small because if it bothers you cosmetically, you can just get like dentures. There you go. Answered.
Look, Mark, I know that before we started recording, I oathed you guys into this episode, and you swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the tooth. But as the judge, the rules basically don't apply to me. You understand that, right?
If you have small, gappy teeth, you can squirt your pizza from your crop out through your teeth.
But that's not what I'm... You could do that with your normal teeth if you have a gap. What I'm thinking is many teeth, if it fills the same volume, you have thousands of tiny teeth, and I bet they fall out all the time.
I think you have the same amount. They're just small and gappy.
Well, then you basically don't have teeth. You just have gums. So you don't even have functional teeth.
You have roots on which you can have implants put in, I guess. According to Wade.
Yeah, but then you would just have normal teeth, and therefore you wouldn't have small teeth. You would just get it fixed immediately. Therefore, the entire premise is a little bit thrown off with that definition of small teeth.
Well, maybe you should have gone with small teeth then.
For it to be teeth, they have to function, right? They have to still be functional in my mind.
They can be functional.
You could eat tiny food with small teeth. I don't know. It seems like they'd work on a certain scale.
There's those tiny little corn cobs.
Baby corn is just corn to a person with tiny teeth.
You could eat applesauce with tiny teeth because because you'd have gums. That's basically all you'd have. Unless each tooth was like suddenly divided into 100 tiny teeth, but it's in the same place.
They're all stuck together into the shape of one tooth.
Yeah, they're all like conglomerated. Yeah, exactly. It's a teratoma of teeth in your teeth.
Why did you make that?
That's what I've been imagining the whole time.
They're like Legos. We just absorb our ancestors and take their teeth to add to ours to make a better mouth.
Every time you eat, it's like a weird anime fight, and some tiny teeth get scraped off the edge of the bigger tooth conglomerate. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. You're like a shark. You got rows and rows of more tiny teeth that are waiting to push into the amalgamation of teeth just to replace what you've lost.
I just pictured a normal mouth with smaller teeth. I don't know. Maybe I'm the weird one here.
There's no clear way how this would happen in humanity. Mark has a fair point.
So I'm going to go big because everything about small teeth that I
You
imagine is
already
a
abstained.
nightmare.
I thought there was no take backsies.
You don't have to take backsies. I'm doing nothing. So he's allowed. He did not changing anything. He's just finally choosing to commit.
Yeah.
Commitment issue Mark over here.
He went from refusing to answer to answer. I feel like that's a take backsies of refusal.
You can't take backsies non-action.
Yes, exactly.
Non-action is nothing.
Okay, we're still just making up rules. Then got
You
it.
didn't put forthseas to begin
whoa,
with.
this is not makeup. Backsies represents the idea of first going forwardsies. You have to go forwardsies to not backsies. I did not go forwardsies.
Mark never advanced his position.
Yes.
I feel like you went forward with refusing to answer, and then you went back and decided to answer.
No, I started from zero. You can't go negative into backseat action. I'm right.
The dumbest serious sentence ever uttered. Subreddit, I dare you to find a more serious sentence ever uttered that was somehow more stupid.
If we were working in certain contexts of the American legal system, the decision of non-action is potentially an action. But in the context of boy rules, in which the take backsies context exists, non-action is just fear of commitment. A trait that most men share. It is not an action that must be back-tooken, and thus changing from non-action to commitment is not a take-backsies situation, as we all know.
Thank you.
Sure.
So Mark wins the debate. Unfortunately for Mark, I gotta side with Wade on the small situation.
Oh, no, it's horrible. You don't know the curse you're unleashing.
The thing that gets me is the big teeth fundamentally changes, especially potentially in your vision of it, Mark. It changes like what a person looks like. It represents either evolution or, I don't know, radiation caused deformation of humanity in a way where it's like either your whole head is big or just your jaw is big, and it changes the fundamental like aesthetic of what a human is in general, even though that really poorly applies across all different, races and locations and genetic makeups of what humanity is as a whole.
Imagine your back teeth being bigger. You couldn't even like close your mouth all the way.
Well, now you're worried about function. I see. Function comes in when it's not convenient.
When it's too big?
I present to the court the evidence of The Mask.
Which the Jim Carrey movie?
If you look up Jim Carrey's The Mask, he endured the entire movie with dentures that were comically larger than his actual teeth, preventing him from many of the different things that enabled him to do, and yet he looked goddamn fantastic. Not nightmare-esque. He looked sharp as shit. Look at those big frickin' chompers.
So you're assuming that everyone's going to have big teeth that are exactly that size and are perfectly designed.
Well, humanity is a range, Wade. It's not all going to be exactly the same.
Just Google big teeth and look at images of big teeth that way.
I'm going to do that, but I'm going to be really mad at you when I do.
I'll look up big teeth.
Big teeth people is the first thing that comes up if you just type big teeth into Google.
It's fine.
Oh, these aren't even that big.
Even these people with big teeth are nothing compared to The Mask, and that is because those teeth are prosthetics and they are huge.
I will say, in my personal envisioning of the situation, I did think exactly of The Mask, Jim Carrey in The Mask, and that represented like the bottom bound of what I would consider big teeth in my hypothetical.
Me too. The bottom, like the lower tier of big teeth.
I would say those are bigger teeth in the way that they look and how the dentures fit him. Those are bigger teeth than fall within, not big, like the middle range of where humanity is right now, generally. So I have to say, I already wrote
Think
way
about
down
the smallest tier of small teeth, though.
for having this point.
They wouldn't be that big of a change. Small teeth wouldn't even make that big of a difference either. It would be the same exact thing if you're just thinking of it slightly smaller, slightly bigger. But think of the extremes: extremely small versus extremely big.
Listen,
that's where the change becomes like
you can have your small shark teeth falling out of your mouth nonsense. I'll be over here looking great in my yellow zoot suit with my giant teeth and green face, which I'm assuming it comes with it.
If you have oversized back teeth, your mouth will not even close all the way, or your teeth won't align and you can't chew.
I'll get braces. This guy over here.
That won't shrink them. That just means your mouth wouldn't close.
It'll move them so that they align and I can teeth and my jaw will move. There is facts of dentistry that establish that the face and its different plates move and shift over time. My face would adjust. I would get more handsome. There's no downside to big teeth.
After all of this discussion, I am happily sticking with small.
Mm-hmm.
I have to admit, I have tooketh back. I had wrote a Wade point down for this one.
You literally think big teeth better now.
Mark brought up a movie that I both enjoy and specifically envisioned in thinking about this as a point of discussion.
It's the smaller tier of big
It
teeth.
still counts.
It does, but think bigger than that and think smaller than slightly small teeth. And which one would you rather have?
Extraordinarily small teeth would essentially be no teeth at all, which is both a functional problem and would be
think of
aesthetically
extraordinarily large teeth.
That would be a problem, but
and which
it's not
one
an
is
unsolved...
easier to fix cosmetically?
I mean, without oral surgery and tens of thousands of dollars in having implants and or dentures or whatever made and put in and all this stuff. I don't know. Braces are annoying, but I had braces for a long time.
If your teeth are too large, braces aren't going to do anything.
No, fundamentally, Wade, if your argument is just replace the tiny teeth that had been magicianly given to you, you can do the same with big teeth.
Yeah, then that's not respecting the premise.
I don't know how expensive like a pair of dentures would be to put on. Now, if you're replacing each tooth individually, sure, but you have to pull each large tooth and replace it that way. That is the only way to do it.
Pulling out the small ones. The root is still the same. The nerves are still the same. A doorknob is still going to be your free alternative to tooth surgery.
You just pop in a pair of dentures.
Why? What is it going to mount on? They mount that to the jaw.
It's cosmetically. It's for the cosmetic appeal.
They mount it to the jaw.
I think that's easier to do than dealing with the big teeth.
They grind your teeth away first. And if you don't have a tooth there, guess what they mounted to? Big teeth allow for better surgical options if you have them, other than no teeth that don't exist, and then they have to do it to your jaw.
Again, we're talking about slightly bigger, slightly smaller, sure, but I'm thinking of the extremes here.
Mm-hmm. And even in the extremes.
I am absolutely shocked to say this, but Mark has convinced me. That sounded meaner than I thought. I went into this biased towards small.
Congrats on the two of you being the only ones who will feel this way.
Well, I will watch the subreddit and we'll see how this shakes out.
Unless they are flat out just like blindly devoted fans, if they use their brains, they will agree with me.
You are the one that blind, because the arguments I'm presenting are all reasonable. It's all reasonable.
I don't think so. I think you guys are thinking small term, like slightly bigger teeth.
You know what undercuts yours, Wade, is that it's based with kind of the assumption that you'll deal with them by just covering them up or replacing
Hiding them cosmetically. They don't have to be functionally.
You're not embracing the small
Even if
teeth.
I did.
You're ignoring the issues and then saying, oh, you'll just fix it with money. Yeah, I'm committing to that. No take backsies. Oh, new man this time.
Sure. And when you have teeth so large you can't close your mouth, then what are you going to do then?
Smile.
Oh, you'll fix them with what? Braces, which cost what? Oh, yeah, money.
No, insurance covers braces probably.
Yeah, or like I said, a doorknob can rip those out for free.
Oh, yeah, what does insurance cost? Money.
I said doorknob. Tie a string, pull them out, free.
So your solution to fixing big teeth is to remove the big teeth and have virtually small teeth.
It was not my solution. That was my argument against your solution.
Teeth.
Yes, I'm living with them.
Not if you can't close your mouth.
If you live from birth and as you grow, your teeth are just that large. There's a limit to how much your body can adapt, but your body can adapt. The way your jaw and facial structure grows might adapt enough for you to be able to live with insanely large teeth. I don't know. I'm not a science doctor.
You know what you for sure know, though? With small teeth, you'll be fine.
He's so worried. You're so afraid.
Yeah, as long as you have the money for dentures or an expensive implant. As a person who needs a tooth implant, I can tell you it's surprisingly expensive.
If they are so small you need it, then you have to consider the inverse. If they're so big you can't close your mouth.
No, I have considered my inverse is the inverse that I was doing of yours. You're arguing against my argument of the inverse of yours. And you are ignoring the base premise that I am okay with big teeth.
Big, but overly big.
The reality is, if they're too big for you to live with, you'll die before it's an issue. And if they're too small for you to live with, you either have money or you got small teeth. And apparently I'm on the side of dying before your big teeth are a serious problem.
Oh, you're like 7 years old, your adult teeth start coming in, it's time to die. Good choice, guys, good choice.
Well, this is why I wanted to establish evolutionary boundaries.
I stick by living with small teeth than dying with big ones.
Oh, have fun with your wizard and your tiny shark teeth, your millions of rows of small teeth that are conglomerating. Because if you're imagining mine, I'm imagining yours.
I don't know why you have to have more teeth and they're sharp.
All right. Well, I can't possibly take backsies twice, so I gotta go with.
I didn't think you could even do it once, but hey, I guess I
didn't
only
either.
Watch you guys break the rules.
But I impress my own self sometimes. I gotta go with big on that one.
He's incredible, his judgment.
Subreddit, can you tell me the rules of this episode, please?
I'm
starting to not
argument.
understand.
I don't know what you want.
It wasn't.
All right.
It really was.
I mean, it wasn't, but I liked it. Let's be honest.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
You like that he said Jim Carrey and The Mask. Let's be really honest.
Who doesn't? Do you not like The Mask?
I love The Mask. It's one of my favorite movies.
Well, then you understand.
Do you not know me, and that any pop culture reference that I like is basically the way to win me over in any situation?
Guess not.
Oh.
But I'm taking notes for the future.
Yeah, don't remember that, guys.
Can you send me a list of pop culture things you like?
Oh, lots of them.
Thanks, man.
Funny stuff.
Great.
Good ones. You know, that's pretty specific, right?
All right, search for not Wade.
Oh, I tell you you're funny. Babe.
Just move on.
All right. This one will not be as divisive. I can't imagine anything being as divisive as that was.
I can't believe that one was divisive.
We're going to try this one, and this is possibly the last one. Schools, big or small? And this could be any level of education, primary school, all the way through high school, all the way through any higher education stuff, universities, colleges, whatever. Would you rather attend or have your child attend big school or small school?
I have my answer ready. Do you need time, Mark? Or
You go ahead.
I will say small, because I feel like with a big school, it kind of reminds me of like going to college and some of like the bigger classes I took where there were just like 100 kids. There was so little individual attention from the professor or teacher that I felt a lot less connected. Whereas in smaller classes in college and even like the 20 to 30 size classes in high school, I felt like there was more time for my questions specifically to be addressed. I had more one-on-one time with the teacher. I knew my classmates a little bit better, so I had more people to like talk to for help or questions or whatever. I don't know. I just, my brain tells me that I feel like a smaller setting with more individualized time from the teacher or professor would be more likely to have success. I feel like that would be the better way to get people to perform better in school.
I think I've been to a small school before. It was one of the first schools I went to, Calvary Christian Academy. What was great about it is just like it was so small that you knew everybody and you had the same teacher for a few years. I can't say anything about the educational benefit of it just because I only went there till I was third grade. I had the option of going to either a small engineering school or UC. The small one usually is much more expensive. And
College, yeah.
Yeah, but in private school too. That small school was also a private school.
Oh, yeah, I guess private schools would be
I
smaller.
think that I really do want to agree with small, but I think practically in the world, small school means private. That's almost always what it means. And private schools are expensive. They're exclusive. And I don't really like my experiences with private schools because I couldn't afford them. And also, like, I'm not saying systemically wide. There's probably like bigger issues that I have no idea about versus like public versus private school. But I do think that there is a benefit to having a good public school education, but that almost always comes from a large school. And there's money saving benefits for college. This is entirely a practical answer. I'm going to go big just because practically for most people out there, I have to. And for a lot of kids growing up, maybe like the bigger school, it's easier to like blend in, but probably means more bullies. I don't know. But this is a very boring answer. I'm going to say big for those reasons.
I feel like in capitalists, sure, bigger makes more sense. But I feel like if you're talking about performance,
oh, absolutely. There's no doubt. Smaller
education
schools
quality, it would be small school.
probably usually do better.
Like big schools, I imagine would have more funding. They could probably have more programs. They probably have better things for like art classes, special needs,
you're right.
That kind of stuff,
Good
transportation.
Good arguments for big. Keep going.
Yeah, but I mean, like I'm agreeing with you on that front. But small,
Keep going. Yeah, keep going.
But I feel like the point of school is to get an education, and the better education is going to come from more individualized attention. And I think that's a smaller school.
But that always costs money.
And at the end of the day, that's what you want. You go to school to get a good education, and then I mean, when we were growing up, it was to go to college. I don't know if college is pushed as hard now as it was when we were in school, like just 10 years ago.
I hope it's not.
Yeah, definitely not.
I mean, I hope so too.
Considering how expensive it is compared to the potential return you get on it in the job markets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because of how expensive and stuff it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I agree. But for us growing up, it was do well in high school, hopefully get grants and funding to go to college, get a good degree and whatever, get your dream job, quote unquote. But even if it's just like, I don't know, elementary school, middle school, high school, I feel like your better education comes whenever you have a chance to ask questions and learn rather than just get lost in the crowd.
I feel as conflicted on this one as you both seem to feel, and I was sort of hoping you might agree.
It is. It's a hard answer because I think there's a lot of things to be said about both sides of it. It just depends on what you're going for. If you're going for athletics, you want to go to a bigger school. If you're going for your education, you want to go to a smaller school.
Yeah.
Money-wise, I mean, yeah, whatever you can afford, public or private.
It is hard to get into like a good band program or marching band at smaller schools. Like there are certain things. Sport, absolutely. And for many people, school is less about education, more about a pathway through sports and stuff like that. You definitely want that bigger school because it's more likely to win. It's more likely to be scouted. There's certainly benefits. You're probably not going to go far in a private school if sport is your goal. But then again, that's not everyone.
How many people actually make it professionally in sports? Very few.
Well, how many people dream to make it though? That's, I think, the more important quality.
You can get money for college too, I think, is the real goal of a lot of kids who are good at athletics and have this vision of, I want to get, a baseball scholarship so I can get some or all of my college paid for.
That is a good point too. Yeah.
You're not likely to go pro.
Good grades can do the same though. If you do really well and you're in like honors and stuff like that. I mean, I had a lot of scholarships based on my performance in classes, not necessarily for sports.
I also was honors. I mean, didn't have the best grades, but also going into college, I lost my grades pretty quickly after my first year's performance. But it still wasn't ever enough to cover my scholarship. Usually sports scholarships cover 100%.
Yeah, but they rarely do they give those out though to like the full ones. Like a lot of players end up being like walk-ons and stuff. Only your star quarterbacks and like, 4 or 5 star athletes, at least in football specifically, are going to get your full rides.
I mean, I think you're underestimating how many colleges there are because I learned from Tyler on Go that there are tens of thousands of colleges. And I had no idea about that with
I guess that's true.
Representatively hundreds of thousands of different sports with which to divide people. There are incredible number of opportunities. It isn't just like the Big Ten or whatever.
But how many athletes go into college and don't get it versus do, I guess is the question. I don't know the answer to it.
I think a majority of active athletes in college, and this is from a long time ago, so this is both out of date and hard to remember. I took a sports law class in law school where we covered this pretty extensively. The majority of active athletes in college, I believe, are not on scholarship, but a large percentage as compared to a large percentage of the rest of the population who potentially are on academic scholarships, a large percentage of the athletes, especially if they're scouted and if they're, at a high level of their sport, actually do get scholarship, and they're not all necessarily full ride, but even, just tuition scholarship or half tuition or anything like that. It's a big thing if all you have to do is keep playing the sport that you probably, really enjoy, that you love, that you may hope to go pro on or transfer to a bigger school or whatever. It's still a very small percentage of the population of athletes.
I've got numbers.
Collegiate athletes, but it's a higher ratio of scholarship athletes to non, as opposed to scholarship academic only students to the rest of the academic students.
6% of 8 million student athletes in high school will make a spot on a college roster. 6% of 8 million.
Sure.
Of that 6%, only 1.3% receive a full or partial athletic scholarship.
All right, there you have it. Doesn't help with the big small argument, though.
You said it was 8 million total?
It says 8 million. So this one says of all the almost 8 million student athletes in high school, just about 6% will earn a spot on a college roster. That is via a very trustworthy site called noobgains.com.
Oh, yeah. What was the next percentage? 2% or something? What'd you say?
1.3%. So this is whattobecome.com. 1.3% of those athletes receive a full or partial athletic scholarship. 48% of students receive federal scholarships. Only 1.3% of athletes receive a full or partial athletic scholarship, is what this
That
says.
sounds incredibly low, because that would mean there are only 6,300 students in the entire United States on athletic scholarship of any sort, which I refuse to believe is even remotely an accurate number.
Do all sports have some athletes that are on scholarship for their sport?
I mean, it depends on the institution. Some places may have no academic scholarship. Some places it may only be football or basketball. I know at UC, we had scholarship on like football, basketball, baseball, men's and women's soccer. I believe we had scholarship track and field athletes at UC. UC is it's not a huge institution, but it's a relatively big state school. And I know that there were scholarship athletes on a variety of our sports teams.
We're also a Division I school. We got to consider all of the like non-Division I schools, all the community colleges.
But like, there's no way the total is 6,300 in the United States. That's like the amount of scholarship athletes maybe in a medium or large state in the United States, I would guess. But maybe that's way off. I don't know. That just seems insanely low.
I have no idea. These numbers, I gave the sources. I don't know how accurate they are. I mean, you guys can look into it, but that was just a quick Google search of an average number of high school athletes in the U.S. and percentage of college athletes on full scholarship, and it gave me a full or partial answer.
That seems wild. But
yeah,
I don't know either. That just doesn't seem like it encompasses everyone to me. So
it seems really low to me too. I thought it would be higher than that.
But anyway, what are we talking?
Small
schools. Bigger, small schools. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's complicated. And I think the only thing that I have as a concern that you guys didn't already say is, as a parent, now, having seen it as how school affected me as a person, or what I think it did to me, I think it's important. Big schools are important for kids as they develop. And this is nothing against anyone who was like homeschooled or went to small private schools. I think it's important, and it helps a person develop their perspective of like the world and of other people, what it's like outside of your small group of like friends and family who you know really well, to be around more people. I think being in a bigger school gives you a wider range of experiences. It exposes you to more like cultures, more diverse people. I undervalued when I was a kid how much like I got to travel a little bit. Like I got to see Europe when I was in high school, and all of that stuff really changed like how I felt about humanity. And I feel like it gave me more empathy, because it helped me understand that what I think life is a very, 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 very small fraction of what life is around the country and around the world. So I think that's an important part too, because if you're only ever in private schools, if you go to small, high school, and you go to a small private college, you're potentially only around people who are basically like you.
Yeah.
What are we counting as small or big here? Because I mean, can you have a small public school versus like a bigger private school too?
I mean, so you can have public charter schools, which are technically public schools you don't have to pay for, but are not included in a district. I actually worked at a public charter school in Cincinnati, and we had, I want to say we had less than 100 students in our building. It was a K through 12 school, but we basically had one classroom for each grade level.
When I think small, I'm thinking like 15 to 25 kids in a classroom.
That's at the school I worked at. That's kind of the numbers we had. It was more like 15 to 30, because a couple of our grades were more populated than the others.
Like, was Milford a big or a small school, you think?
I mean, it's hard to say. I think it was like a medium-sized school, on the bigger side, technically speaking, because
our graduating class was like 500, but that also included like the trade schools coming to graduate with us.
I would say that's pretty big. Definitely not like the biggest, but
in our actual school, I feel like we probably had like 400 in our grade. I think there's probably a decent amount from the trade schools.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't even going to get into the social side, which is a big thing that I do agree with 100%, but I was trying, for the sake of brevity, to not dive into that.
It's a big issue, but I have to go with small, I think. which is surprising to me.
It's tough.
I get what you're saying. It's just like if I had a kid right now and I was like, where's they going to go? It's like, I'm going to put him in a bigger school. Like I'm going to go to a good school district, but I want it to be big for that very social reason.
Yeah. I think the main drive for me is, and I would probably feel this way about my own kid as well, I would want a big public schools for most of their education, but for the part where you really want an education, like my law school that I went to was like a small private school, I would want a small school because I feel like the education is potentially more direct. And that's not what everyone needs as a student, but for me as a student, it helped a lot that the professors I knew all my professors personally. They would check on me. They would sort of hold me accountable, right? If I slacked off and came to a class unprepared, it wouldn't just be like I could sit and hide and not volunteer. I had to talk. I had to participate, which means I had to be on the ball. And the professors wouldn't like make me go in the hall or anything juvenile. But if you weren't prepared, then they called on you. The professor was always kind of like, okay, and moved on. And that helped me because in public school, I always just hid. I would just keep my head down and I didn't have to talk and it was fine. But it also let me slack a lot.
That's true.
Okay, I have solved this problem and we have made this decision for the entire world. That's the end. That one went on a long time, so that's going to be the last one because that was way more than I thought it was going to be. Thank God we have the Intel scoreboard. I mean, I wrote all this down, but I'm going to go ahead and take a look over at that scoreboard and the world, which we know you are listening. I'm sure you'll be excited to learn that in all things, for all things, and in every situation, small is better.
Woo!
Including teeth.
Woo!
Teeth, I guess, falls under that. So really, and although I ended up siding with Mark, on the long run, I guess Wade wins teeth too. It's interesting. But that, of course, being the most important matter, decided and out of the way, I now have to pick a winner for the episode. And although you both won the same number of rounds, it is currently 4-4. One of you was more right more of the time. Not all rounds are created equal. Because of the decision that we arrived at, obviously small is better. And the winner of the largest number of small votes is Wade. Wade never once won a big vote or even voted big as far as I recall.
I did. I went big on vehicles.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's true.
Abandoned that pretty quickly.
I think it's the only time I did.
Yeah. That didn't go well, so you were like, never again. But yeah, Wade voted small and won 4 times. Mark was split 2-2, very well rounded, which is not what we wanted, Mark.
All right.
But
Go big or go home, Mark, and it looks like you're going home.
Should have gone big then. What are you talking about, small man?
go big and go home, I think.
Oh, I'm keeping it nice and concise.
Yes, very concise. Good work, everybody. Wade, do you have a winner speech?
I'm gonna keep it small. Thanks.
All right, Mark, big loser speech.
Verily doth I say that there is no greater grace than grace in loss. Loss can be an honorable thing if taken to heart. The reasons for that loss. And yada yada more.
Can I fast forward through this large amount of filler?
Yeah, I could see why we picked small, I guess. Go small, everybody. That's the moral lesson that has been decided. Everything is now small, and if it's not, it's wrong. So there we go.
All right.
Yeah, that's it. Good win, Wade. Thank you for listening, gentle listeners. If you're a new gentle listener, make sure you're following the podcast. Subscribe to it, or hit the plus, or however it works, on wherever you listen. So make sure that you always get a notification when our episodes go live. Make sure that you follow Markiplier, you probably already do. Make sure you follow Wade, Lord Minion 777 or Minion 777 on Twitch specifically. Myself, MySkerm, on all places, including Twitch, where I'm back at now. So look at that. And also, I for once did not forget to mention our merch. Store.distractablepodcast.com, probably.
New designs coming soon.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yes.
everyone had to look at all those sold outs for so long.
It's working. It's been busy. It's been so busy. Well, everyone busy.
It's been a busy year.
It has. That's it. Good podcast. I'm glad we solved that and look forward to more important decisions that will have impact on everyone's lives around the world in the future. Coming here from the single greatest podcast and most important broadcast on the internet, of course, it's Distractible. And with that, I say, podcast out.